Hey YouTube, it's PB. So, video blog, day in the life of a plumber, number 5 I think we're on now. Seems to be going alright. I think my last one was my best one, so I'm definitely learning from all your suggestions and tips as to what I do. This week's is a few little jobs that I thought you'd find interesting. Jobs that kind of frustrated me. There's one with a lady who rang up with no cold water. That was a head scratcher. And then yeah, just some jobs that I thought you think you'll find interesting. Maybe a couple of little tips. Fit a Nest thermostat. Yeah, just a bit of variety, things I think you'll like. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. Right, first job. I'll just show you this first. This made me laugh. So if you read this label, important for your safety in a compartment. Do not use this compartment for storage, airing or drying unless there is a purpose provided partition separating the appliance and or chimney. And they've just shoved as many pillowcases, sheets as they can get around a boiler. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So I've been called out to this. Basically, they have got the hot water on, but the radiators are all getting hot. Heating isn't selected. You can see there they've got hot water on continuous and the neon's on. The woman's been turning it off at the fuse spur because the thermostat wasn't controlling the heating coming on or off. So the first thing I checked after looking at the programmer and the room stat was the 2-port valve. So it's an S-plan, 2 ports coming off a system boiler into an unvented cylinder. Now the bottom one here, this is for the radiators, central heating. And you can see there the lever is locked in the manual position. So this is how it was when I arrived. Same on the hot water. So this is the reason why the radiators are coming on regardless of the program or room stat. Now you see there I've freed it out of the groove at the end, and the lever has come back, which is now turned the heating off. Basically, we'll do the same on the water. Now the reason the water one's come back, even though we've got demand on, is because the water is to temperature, because there is a cylinder stat. You can see we're up to like 84 degrees. So now I'm just checking the operation of the valve. So I've called for heat, and then when I click the room stat up to call for heat, the 2-port valve should start to open. You can see there it's just moving across now. So we know that that's operating correctly. Now the issue is who's locked it into manual, because the customer says she hasn't, she didn't know how to do it. But obviously they were both locked in. Now I'm just checking the operation, so I've turned the heating off again and you can see it's moving back. So we know that that is working as it should be. So I'm going to just advise that she uses it as normal for the next few days to see if her heating comes on and off with the program room start. Right, this job really wound me up. So we've got a stop tap in the street there, and then up the garden path we've got another stop tap, an older one, just there, which is just outside the kitchen. Now this part of the building I'm pointing to now is an extension, and then next door, and this is what threw me, next door it looks like they've been having some work. So when we go inside and explain what the problem was, this is why it threw me, because I was thinking that workmen next door had turned the stop tap off for the house I'm working in, thinking it was a dual stop tap, or they had a shared supply. So this is an extension. We've got a stop tap there and a water meter. Now this one is live, and I assume is from the newer stop tap out on the road. This the toilet's live and the cold tap here is live, but there's no hot water. You can see there's nothing coming out of the hot tap. Now this I found under the kick space in the kitchen. We've got another water meter, and in the corner there another stop tap, although the head's sheared off that. So I found that one. There's a blue butterfly valve there behind that leg. That's on. but the cold water isn't working. So I was scratching my head on this for ages, and then I don't know why I didn't notice this when I first looked at it, but this white cable here is for a shore stop tap, which you can't actually see the valve. I don't know where that's cut in, but this cable here is for a shore stop. Now if you don't know what a shore stop is, it's just round the corner in this cupboard behind this blender or food mixer, which the tenant has put in the cupboard to knock the shore stop off. The shore stop is like a switch. You can turn your water off, isolate the house by pressing the switch, and it works on water pressure. But the tenant didn't know she had one, and I didn't know she had one. So there's me. I've just turned it back on. You can see that the water's come back on. It was National Walk to Work Day on Friday. This is just a little tweet I did. Okay, so this job, the thermostat's not working properly, and it's not a surprise because it's hidden by all those books. It's not going to sense the air temperature. So we're going to be fitting a Nest thermostat. Now, if you've not fitted a Nest before, they're quite easy to fit, especially to a combi boiler. There's nothing much to it. This is just what you get in the box. That's the heat link there. That's what we wire into the system. So while we're doing this, I'm just going to show you. This is my ferrule crimping set. I saw this recommended by another gas engineer on Twitter, and basically it's a nice, neat, tidy way of finishing off your cable ends. So you can buy it as a set. You get different size ferrules. I'm just going to use the ones that fit the correct size cable that I'm using. So you twist the ends as you normally would, and then once you've chosen the correct size, you pop it over, and then using the crimping tool, you just put that in the end there and give it a squeeze. You don't take much effort, it's just a little squeeze, and that will crimp that ferrule onto the end of the wire and give you a nice, neat finished cable. So I'm just doing the full set now, which I'm going to use inside the boiler, and then we'll do, once we've worked out which cables we're going to use, we'll do the same for the ends that are going into the heat link for the Nest. But it's just a nice little touch, you know, just to show that you're making that little bit of extra effort, trying to do a good job, and it cost about 20 quid for the set. So you can just see there on the heat link, it just looks a lot neater and there's no copper showing. So the important thing about the Nest thermostat with Boiler Plus coming in is it's a smart control with automation and optimization, as long as the boiler you're fitting it to accepts open therm. So like a Baxter and Ideal, Worcester, Bosch, Valent don't have open therm, so it's not a suitable Boiler Plus control for those boilers. Optimization means what you'll see here when I change the temperature, it says in 30 minutes, because it learns how long it takes to get your house up to a certain temperature. Hopefully that was useful to any of you guys who haven't fitted a Nest thermostat before. Hopefully a lot of you know that I do a lot of stuff on social media. My main platform is Twitter, but I also do Instagram now. But this weekend I've done a little video I'm going to show you now. There was someone on Twitter who gave some bad advice on torque wrenches when you're working on boilers, saying that you could actually damage a boiler using a torque wrench, which is the complete opposite. If you want to do the best job you can do, you've got to use the best tools. Now, torque wrenches are expensive and you don't need them, but if you want to work on a boiler to manufacturer's instructions, then you can't go wrong with a torque wrench. So this video here is just a little bit about what a torque wrench is and how to use one when you're working on a boiler. Hi guys, PB, just a quick one. I saw a tweet about torque wrenches and someone gave some wrong information that you could damage your boiler using a torque wrench. So I'm just going to do you a quick demo of using a torque wrench as opposed to a standard one on this Romeo boiler. So standard 10mm socket. I want this to be nice and tight because there's gas in there. Oh, I've gone too tight and I've broke it off. See there, we've gone too tight and we've snapped that off. Okay, so now we're going to use the torque wrench, 10mm socket. We've set that to 6 Newton meters. You can hear that click there. That's telling me that I've tightened that nut to what it needs to be, and I'm not going to over tighten it. That's what's stopping me from over tightening it. So versus a standard wrench, on stuff like this that's vital, it's always better to use a torque wrench because there's no danger of you over tightening and damaging the boiler. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know how a torque wrench works, you've got settings. You can see here in this window and this little window here, and you can set the torque that this will tighten to. So on a nut on a heat exchanger, I would set this to 6 Newton meters. So to do that, we pull this end piece out, and then we can start to adjust it. So if you watch now, I'm going to take this up 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, 0, and you can see there we're on 6 Newton meters. So then we just push that back in. That's now set. So we can tighten up our nut, and we know that we can't go over 6 Newton meters, therefore making it impossible to over tighten that nut. Okay, that's me done. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this video useful. I'm going to keep doing them as long as they're popular. It does take me longer to do my work because I'm messing about filming it, but if you guys think it's worth it, I'll keep doing it. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a good week.